Hey guys, well, it's been another weekend, and I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. Saturday ended up being a little bit more lazy than I had originally planned, but it was still good. I went out and was able to shoot a little bit, and was able to enjoy my day, and was able to really get a mental recharge, and that was really the most important part about all this all together here. Today was pretty cool. I was able to go ahead and get into my internship, and that went fantastically. I am really enjoying the progress that I'm making using the broadcast cameras and getting used to the live coverage and the just trying to hit what the producer is telling us to hit and just nailing it. I honestly, there's nothing really more satisfying than that to me is just being able to like kick ass at what I enjoy. So that was a cool little perk to start my morning. Three services after that, I went home and I relaxed for a little bit, and then I proceeded to go ahead and start working on my resume and my references. I was able to go ahead and fix my resume really broke a lot of the rules that are specified that you should really try to follow, and I went and I tried to fix and try to adhere a little bit better to that, trying to use a little bit less pronouns and try to make it a little bit more fitting to the actual look that they suggest. I still am going to put my own little twist on it. I like to incorporate my birthmark that is all over the rest of my branding with my resume and my references and my cover letters that I try to use. So I think I'm going to try to stick to that trend. I really like to incorporate my birthmark because that already makes me unique as a person. So why not incorporate it into my branding and help me make that unique also? And that's where you see a lot of the colors that are used within the YouTube channels and things like that. With my cover letter and my resume and stuff, I actually have taken and traced some of my birthmark in and have scaled and played with some of those to proportion them to create borders and things like that, just because I wanted to really express myself using something that really came from me, and I felt like that was the only way to really epitomize that. So that's what I was really trying to aim for. And then I use colors from my birthmark. I don't use an actual spectrometer, but I used a an application from Adobe that works in the same way, and it went through and it took these photos of my arm of the birthmark, and it had picked out and created swatches in my Adobe library using that, which I have then created gradients that I try to use in all of my branding, just because that is I like to really represent who I am, because it is who I am. Even though in normal day life no one really says anything about it, just because it's been a part of me for so long that no one really thinks of it that way. But it is part of who I am, and it does make me unique. And for people who do not actually have been introduced to me, it does make me stand out. So I like to really hone that and harness that, because fuck it, why not? There's only so many things that make us unique in the world, so we should try to embrace those. So that's hence where like the wine stain branding comes in, and a lot of those purples and those reds and things like that is where that comes from. Is my birthmark being a wine stain birthmark. Uh, so, and then after that, I went through and busted out a bunch of homework that needed to be done this evening. And after that was done, I jumped on here to get this recorded, because it's been quite a bit of a long day, just because with my internship being 3 morning services, call times are pretty early, which means I have to get up and get on the road fairly early. I mean, 7 a.m. isn't really that rough in retrospect, but for myself on a Sunday morning, it really kicks my butt. But hey, I enjoy what I do, and the experience that I'm getting while in school is definitely going to really help. And I'd be lying to you if I told you I wasn't nervous about trying to get into the field. So every little bit that can help me is very important in changing my trajectory. So I think that's where I'm gonna leave that tonight, though. I think I might come back tomorrow and try to elaborate a little bit more on that, where I want to go in the video field, and if I want to keep up with my graphics and what I plan to do with that. So, thanks for tuning in and listening to me ramble. You guys have a good night.